And now?
Hi, my name is Taleah Escarpita, and I graduated Jane Frederick May of 2018. I switched it because I'm pretty sure it was May. I did not graduate in June.
Okay. What would you say your happiest memories from Jane Frederick is?
My happiest moment or memory from Jane Frederick was my orientation day, actually. I met with Ms. Pagnini to go over, my transition from Edison to Jane Frederick because it was honestly really sudden. Like, I only had 2 days to move all my stuff out of that school. And she told me with my 0.0 GPA that there was no reason I couldn't graduate on time. And I was a sophomore at that point already, so believe me, that was such a relief. And I felt like I was really up there. That was my happiest moment.
Where were you before you came to Jane Frederick?
So before I came to Jane Frederick, I was a sophomore at Edison. I grew up on the south side of Stockton. You know what? We'll cut this part because I really don't know.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, I think they were just asking.
We'll just
school.
cut parts out and clip them together if you need to.
That's fine.
So you can just redo it if you want.
Okay. So before I came to Jane Frederick, I went to Edison High School. I grew up on the south side of Stockton, raised by my grandma, and I lived with all my cousins. It was a better situation. But yeah, that's what did I do before Jane Frederick, Michelle?
I don't know what you do.
That's the point. I didn't do anything before I came to Jane Frederick. I was lazy, guys. Please do good at this school. It's so fucking easy. Don't put that part in there, but I'm telling you, that's just a tip from me.
Maybe the easy part.
The easy part.
We want more people in here.
Yeah. Okay. What obstacles led you to Jane Frederick?
The obstacles I faced at Edison were mainly, I believe, more self-inflicted. I had zero motivation. That came from a history of starting in elementary school, honestly. I kind of floated through because I didn't do any work, but I tested very well. And in high school, it doesn't work like that. You have to do everything. And at that point, I'd been doing that for 6, 7 years?
Mm-hmm.
I was not going to start doing my work. So there was that. Like everyone, I had issues going on at home too. My grandma was sick for a minute. That led to my absence and attendance issues, which actually really landed me over here, my credits and my attendance. But at the end of the day, I believe it really was just a lack of self-esteem. That was my biggest obstacle, because when I was at Edison, not to throw anyone under the bus, it was a good school. I just wasn't applying myself how I should have been. I didn't feel like I could do anything. I didn't feel like I could, graduate. I told you I was so excited when she told me that I could even finish school on time, even early if I wanted. Those were my biggest obstacles. Lack of self-esteem, lack of motivation, and can't really blame it on family issues, but it happens.
How did Jane Frederick help you overcome those obstacles?
Jane Frederick kind of showed me that it really does happen to everyone. You're not alone with any of these problems that you're going through. Ms. Catalano actually was a really big help in my transition over, because just before I left Edison, I had actually went through a very traumatic experience, and she really comforted me in the ways that I couldn't receive at my old school, and she actually introduced me to a couple of students who, maybe not were necessarily going through the same things I was going through, but could definitely empathize with me, and is that the word? That's not the word. Sympathize. Sympathize the word.
Yeah.
Either one.
No, empathize.
I was thinking it was empathize, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm drunk. Okay, so let's start that one over because I threw myself off with that one.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. You started off pretty strongly, and
Empathize threw me off.
and you got empathize down. So maybe you could just get out every part after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
They could empathize with me. Okay. Next.
What were your goals when you first came to Jane Frederick, and how did they change, or did they change?
My goals when I came to Jane Frederick were at the point to be, if anything, like a C average student, you know? But, I mean, given the home life that I grew up in, you know, my grandmother was actually really supportive. She understood she didn't do very well in school either, so she understood that if I could just get C's, she was very happy with me. So I think the love of my family life helped, but one of my goals was just to be an average student, definitely to end up on time more, because there would be no reason for me to not show up on time to school. When I was coming here, there were morning and afternoon classes. I don't think they do that anymore, right? No? Yeah, you guys all have to come at 7?
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
that sucks.
When I first started, I started like second period and stuff.
Mhm. Yeah. Well, when I started Jane Frederick, I would come at, almost close to 11, almost 12 in the afternoon, and get out at like, 3? You know?
Yeah.
So there was no reason I could miss school anymore, you know? And so that was one of my really big goals. But have they changed? Did they end up changing? Yeah. Because I saw that I couldn't just be a C student, you know what I mean? Come on. Like, if I'm going to sit here and actually think about applying myself, I mean, go big or go home.
Yeah.
Not that I necessarily met all those goals, but I graduated. I finished.
What was the most important lesson to learn at Jane Frederick, and why is that lesson important?
Could you do that one over again?
What was the most important lesson you learned at Jane Frederick, and why is that lesson important?
Can we come back to this one? I've been thinking about this one.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you use what you learned at Jane Frederick in your daily life?
At Jane Frederick, one thing that I learned was respect. Honestly, this isn't a very big school. I mean, any issue that you have at the school, especially now that you guys have all, conjoined classes, you're gonna have to kind of face head on. And I mean that like with any regular high school drama, you know what I mean? Oh, some girl don't like you, someone was looking at you funny. At a point, you just gotta brush it off, and that's what this school showed me, taught me that, and especially, teachers and faculty too. When I was at Edison, I was bad. I was in school suspension like like every other day, couple times a week. I was so rude to my teachers, but honestly, everyone here really wants you to succeed, and they will help you to the fullest of their extent. That's why I like the next question. What is this one?
Should we come back to that one question that you skipped?
Oh, if not, yeah.
We can at the end if you want, so she get more time to think.
Oh, all right.
Okay. Where do you think you'll be years from now?
Years from now, I hope to have gotten a better job. Right now I'm working at the county hospital. I work in the kitchen, like prepping the food for the patients and for the doctors and anyone who comes in. However, since I've been there, I've met new faces. I've shown the respect that I learned at Jane Frederick to the people that I meet in my daily life. And I've gotten a couple of job offers from other places within the county already. So hopefully in a couple years I can snag one of those. I want to have moved out. I want to move out and maybe not have my own place, but I want to be able to provide for myself, you know. I want to be that strong person that Jane Frederick helped mold me to be. They showed me that I can be.
How are you liking your job?
Dude, I love my job. I love my job. I worked at Starbucks for almost 2 years. I got that job. No, yeah. I was always went downtown, right?
Yeah.
I've been there for like almost 2 years, or I was there. And I actually got that job while I was at Jane Frederick because I wasn't going to get a job if I kept going to Edison. And yeah, I'm making Starbucks supervisor money, and I just started. And I'm just, honestly, I've kind of been like a lunch lady most of this time, you know what I mean? Like doing what, you know, homegirl does, just scooping food and shit.
You said that you work at the county hospital, right?
Mhm.
Oh, you might know my mom.
Which
Or
one?
you might have seen my mom. Brenda Valenzuela.
Valenzuela. What department?
Don't know.
Well, tell her if she knows, they don't know they usually know me as like the tall one with the glasses.
The tall one with the
from the cafeteria or from the coffee shop up in the front. I get to switch in between both. And I get to take my Starbucks lessons and move them into my new job.
Nice.
So,
That's awesome. Who helped you most at Jane Frederick, and how did they help you?
so if we're talking academics-wise, obviously all the teachers here are great. I recommend every teacher here. However, Mr. Walsh, I don't know if you guys have Mr. Walsh. Oh my god, I love Mr. Walsh. That man is just the best when it comes to getting, especially elective credits, because that's what I needed. And you need a lot of elective credits to graduate. I don't know if y'all know this. You need a lot of elective credits. I didn't have any. And Walsh helped me out a lot because it's just, he makes it so much easier for you, you know? You can paint something, it doesn't matter what it is, 4 times a year and get, how much, like 5 credits?
It's 5 per painting.
Yeah, 5 per painting,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
he wants to help you win. Walsh academically was my favorite teacher. And I think another person who helped me out a lot